from me. It's from me and you.
So there's a German guy. He's like from that whole group of descendants of Nazis.
Right.
That like built and want to do tshuva and like love Am Yisrael.
Yeah.
And he sent us this for redemption of his grandchild. He said to give it to a Kohen.
Oh, like a pigeon or bat.
He's
a goy. I asked Rav Daniel. It's totally cool. You can take it.
Rav Daniel's a Kohen too. It's just 250 euros.
That's all he thinks his grandson is worth.
We give a lot less.
Okay, to be
we do silver dollar.
To be discussed. Like yeah, but
$5.
But we even give it back afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not giving this back to him. You should say the truth is, for what your grandfather did, it'll...
That'll be 300. That's a good start.
Right. No way, really.
He's a really, really holy...
Holy, I don't know. Yeah, sweet. Holy, I'll take a few more dorot for that to... Okay. And anyway. Okay. Remember how last week on Sunday when we learned, I said about the homework thing, like, I'd asked the people to do homework. You know what I'm shocked about? Is that half the people in this room already, and more that aren't here right now, have already responded to me about that homework. Somehow, this homework of seeing how you can say yeshar koach to yourself over something, and what happens to you when you try to say it and it doesn't work. So it's a very interesting thing. I was walking the supermarket, someone learned with us online, and he turned to me and he said, yeshar koach. I said, thank you for what? He's like, no, I'm just saying it out loud to myself. Like it's an like an avoda thing. I'm like, so I asked, what do you say yeshar koach? Then I said David Jerome, we were talking about it as well, but someone else was saying yeshar koach. Like, for what? Like, that I'm taking care of my family right now. I'm buying groceries for home. I'm saying yeshar koach. Saying yeshar koach. I had a concert that night. Sunday night I was in Shalavim. I did a concert for the Chaver there. And while I said, let me try if I could do it here. So I'm playing and I'm saying the whole time to myself, wow, yeshar koach, that's a good niggun. Yeshar koach, that's a good Torah. Yeshar koach. I didn't say it out loud. I just said to myself, yeshar koach. And then I said, the bigger thing is yeshar koach. Whatever mama knows, whatever money I'm making it right now, I'm not going to buy something that I don't need. I'll hopefully use it for groceries or for taking my children out during the Chofish HaGadol is coming up, all these expenses. And I started to go inside deeper into this thing and realize that complimenting yourself in the inside of the inside has not yet become like our emet. Our emet is still to be harder on ourselves. It's still the galut mentality to say you should be hard on yourself before you give yourself compliments too much. Mm-hmm. And then I saw that today what we're going to be learning about is there's emet and then there's emet la'amito. In the name of truth, we're very hard on ourselves. But what kind of truth is that? So remember the midrash that says that the midah of emet came to God and said, create the world only with me. You know this midrash?
He was thrown to the ground.
And emet was chucked to the ground and said, people won't stand a chance like this. Right? So, look, we're continuing from there right now. Look in Daf Kuf Chaf. Do you need? Moshe, you have? Okay. You're too far though, I'm just saying. Come closer. So this is just a I don't know, I find this Ma'amar to be life-changing, but very, very much so, very important, very beautiful, and very helpful, very lemaisa, very, very, very lemaisa. I just feel like everyone is finding it like to be a very lemaisa Ma'amar. It's very interesting. Kacha, Ot Vav, we're on Daf Kuf Chav, Ot Vav. Elu hem divrei Chazal b'Reishis Rabbah. שהמלאכים טענו להשם יתברך לבל יברא האדם שכולו שקרים. Like the angels, we know they had a claim to Hashem. Said, don't create man. Man is full of sheker. He's full of lies. And really, whose taina was this? Midat ha'emet. Hi shetana kach. Klomar, zo ha'metziut ha'amitit. It was the midah of emes that was saying, it's better, like they were using the midah of emes, the malachim, saying, if you create the world with man, it'll just be a pile of lies. Why? Because life is too intense to just stick to emes all the time. So B'Ram Hashem Yisbarach, emes malkeinu lo aval lekabla, sheneimar b'tashlech emet arza. What does God respond to? He's like, I'm taking you midah of emes, I'm throwing you to the ground. I can't build the world just around you, just about this Indian. But look what he says, Hedif al panea emet acheret. God wanted a different type of emes over this type of emes. Let's think about this for a second. The type of emes the Malachim are saying is the type of emes of galut that keeps us basically in a place of, you can't ever compliment yourself too much, because in light of where you can, should, or are supposed to be, it's not emet. Now that's the neshama.
I always followed up with saying to myself, after I say Yasher Koch, I'm like, what do you want, a trophy? Like that's what you're to myself.
To yourself.
Yeah.
In the last 2 days or always?
The last 2, I was trying to do this thing.
What do you want? No, you don't want a trophy. You don't want a trophy, meaning Yasher
I'm
Koch.
saying like the things I'm saying Yasher Koch about, I'm like, that's just what I should be doing.
Every guy does that thing. Whatever it is.
The cynic is
like-
responding.
So what do you want?
Oh, the cynic is
Sarcastic
responding.
about
You're
myself. I'm
saying.
like, what do you want, a trophy for that? You,
Oh, Yafet. So whose taina is that? That's the malach, or that's the midah
That's
of
the emet that we're
emet,
talking
right? That's the midah of emet that Hashem took and said, people, that's just going to end up being destructive, because, I mean, look, I have an uvda, we have a fact of it right over here right now. So Domeret, what happened after you said that to yourself? What do you want, a trophy? What happened to you afterwards? What did it bring you to do or feel or aspire to?
a little sad.
Can that be emet? That's what we're trying to define. Can that be the emet?
That there's sadness in the world?
That the emet that you connect yourself to brings you to this place that he's speaking about. Can that be what emet is all about? So the angels say yes. And God says, sorry. Vatashlech emet arza. Like that, what do you want, a trophy? You're not going anywhere. No one ever grew in their Yiddishkeit or in their closeness to themselves with that cynical voice saying, what do you want, a trophy? Now, I'm just singling you out because you brought it up and because most of us have spent most of our lives like that. But what he's saying over here is God wanted a different type of emet with which to work and with which to build the world, which he's going to develop right now. שנאמר אמת מארץ תצמח היא האמת לאמיתה. האומרת, what's אמת לאמיתה? האומרת שהאכן הנברא כולו שקרים. It's true. I'm not in denial that we're full of lies. I'm acknowledging it. Yeah, that is the way it is. That's my life. It is. That's true. But ach daika hu, meaning it's dafka, this human being who's consumed with a bunch of lies, hu shiyale nachat ruach me'oneg. It's dafka, this person that is composed and is surrounded with all these shkarim. Somehow the way God created the world, the oneg and nachat ruach before Hashem is going to come from that guy, and not from, like a malach doesn't do anything and brings nachat to Hashem. There's no such metzius that we have. An angel does what it does. It finishes its shlichut, and it does another shlichut. But it doesn't bring out, it's like a reach nichoach. It doesn't bring up any fragrance of pleasure to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So again, there's emet, and there's emet la'amita. What's emet? Just emet?
Absolute truth.
Which means?
It's pure. It's unadulterated. It means that there's no bechira involved there. It just is.
Well, in Ari's case, what's emet? What do you want, a trophy?
You should be doing it.
What do you want, a trophy? You should be doing it.
I
Emet.
Even for saying this, but like thinking about this topic, I realize I do ask for Yasher Koach. Well, I ask for Yasher Koach, not for myself. I really do predominantly with my wife, often. And I'll say, and she'll say, and the insult is, she'll almost say, "What do you want, a trophy?" Like I went to Army Levy yesterday, unsolicited, myself in the lines in the zoo, and brought home all this stuff. I did that. I want a trophy. I want a Yasher Koach.
Yeah.
And I'll even verbalize it sometimes. And I actually will say, I'm telling you, sometimes I call it hero status, like I took the kids out for hours. I want to actually, and she'll say, sometimes she doesn't say that in many words, but what do you mean? That's life, that's what you're doing. But I want a Yasher, I mean, if you really want to know the emes amiti of me, of what I want a Yasher Koach on, maybe I should give myself a Yasher Koach. You also took the kids out and you did that. Yeah, I know.
That's what he's not saying that the Yasher Koach should be coming from anyone else.
Right.
This is exactly it. What is this voice that says, no, I want it from you?
Well, that's the good news is I'm holding a Indian of Yasher Koach. That I know. The bad news is that it's dependent on someone else.
Yeah, as if you're the only one that has this issue in the room. We want the Yasher Koach. We do.
And I'll even say, even if you don't mean it, say it anyway. I say this. I'm very upfront about anyway.
Absolutely.
That's a very, very strong nekuda you're bringing up, and I think that's why he's addressing and saying, what we're speaking about on a geula level has to come from you. It's not the person saying to you, Yasher Koach, it's not emet la'amita. It's emet. It's an emet. But it's not emet la'amita. Over here is you say it to yourself.
To me, just
and
like,
it meaning something to you. Yeah.
just from the psukim here, it seems like the emet is just, it's like a knife, and it's just like truth. And then Hashem's like, oh, no, I'm sorry, you're going down to the earth. I can't handle that. But then ha'emet ma'aretz titzmach, there's another truth that instead of just like slamming you down with the truth of like, yeah, you want a trophy? Of course you're taking your kids out, you're a father. But there's another emet that's like, yeah, but I'm being a good father right now. And it's like an emet shit somachat. It like brings you up, it brings like you higher. So like there's a truth that'll like grow you, and there's a truth that'll squash you.
Very good. Very good diuk. Very good diuk.
Right? The chesed shel emet is chesed where nobody else knows. The person you're doing it for doesn't know that it's you. Nobody knows. It's all on you.
I would say that's called chesed shel emet la'amita.
I agree.
You know, that's mamish. It's very good what you're saying. That's really like, nachon.
But that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate form
That's the
of
ultimate chesed. Yeah.
That's what it seems like. That's what we're trying to get.
I think so as well. Let's continue. 5 lines from the bottom. ראה מאמר חז"ל שהשם יתברך הוא kel emunah. What is when we refer to God as the God of belief? So he says so beautiful here in the Midrash. שהאמין בעולם ובראו. God believed in the world and then created it. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful Midrash with beautiful words. שלא באו בני אדם להיות רשעים אלא להיות צדיקים. Like, people didn't come here to be rishayim. We need a lot of Yasher Koach to remind us that we came here to try to be really good. But if you don't stop and remember the process of, he said over here, the emet of galut will prevail. Now the emet of galut can keep you in a status of Russia your whole life, and you'll think as long as I know that I'm a Russia, that's the emet.
It seems like the emet of Gula is exactly what allows us to work towards the level of aspiring tzaddikim.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we're malachim.
Absolutely. Top of the next column, Bahashra'at hagalut hamara, with the inspiration of the bitter galus, Ru'ei Yehudi rak et hakulo shkarim shebo. And he calls it emet, right? That's the point here. Like galus says to you, you want to be really emet? So like, just see what's really there. I'm so filthy that I want compliments from other people. Aval hitnotzetzut geula, the raised blossoming of a geula, of redemption, hi להביט אל אותה אמת מארץ תצמח שבנפשו, על גילוי אלוקי, שיהודי זוכה להעלות מתוך הארציות, מתוך המעמקים שהוא טובע בהם חסר אונים. That it's dafka after the acknowledgement of, yes, I am full of lies. Yes, I do want everyone else to compliment me. Now I'm working on it. Now I'm working somewhere else. And Jeremy, you said it really beautifully, because it's really, I think, the mahalach of what he's saying, that titzmach means that there's somewhere to go to, as opposed to the emet that the midah of emet wanted to create the world with. It's basically, you either are or you're not. But there's no element of smicha involved in it. You either are good or you're bad. Now, many of us feel that. Like, either I'm a good, like, we know, like, we look around, we know, like, there's some people, they're just good. Like, what do we call that? Oh, they have like the Simchas Chayim working for them. Or you have other people that say, listen, in my core, I'm bad. I could do some mitzvahs and do some tshuva, but the essence of me is bad. I'm a filthy person. My thoughts will forever be perverted. That's who I am. So the midah of emes says, wow, yesher koach. So that's a very high level you
You're
just
being
reached.
so honest. You're full of lies. Kol hakavod that you recognize that you're just a liar. Good for you.
You're honest.
Yeah.
Emet.
Yeah,
What does that do? You don't need Hashem to throw you to the ground. That itself chucked you to the ground. As opposed to the person who says, the truth is, that is there. It's true. But I'm aware that Galut wants me to stay in that place of thinking, this is my goal, of awareness. The goal is awareness. I'm aware of who I am. Emet me'eretz titzmach. The emet la'amito takes that awareness and says, whoa, if I'm aware, like, I wonder where I could go from here. And you start going somewhere.
Well, we've learned before, like, the Satan attaches itself to mitzvahs and attaches, like, that's a perfect thing. Like, you want to be emet, you want to be like a malach, it's the way you do it.
Satan, we learned, is mitlabesh b'mitzvot. It encloses itself through mitzvahs. But we're trying to go upwards. Yeah, Eli, just speak loud because you're far.
God doesn't choose you because of who you are, but He chooses you because of who you can be, who you could be. Right? We always say, we don't know why God chose us. Yeah, because we're not there. Right? God didn't choose us because of who we are. Right? And He says, I know your children are going to teach X. I know your children are going to teach about me, and I am your future.
Yeah. Rabbi Shlomo once said that Avram Avinu, everyone thinks he's the midah of chesed, so that means he was born a giver. So he said in the name of Reb Chaim, he's like, actually, Avram Avinu was the one that was koneh the midah of chesed. Do you think that you acquire the midah of chesed by already naturally being that? You only koneh a midah when you are the exact opposite and you work your way through. He says that Avram Avinu was the stingiest person to ever exist in this world. And he dafka had to be the stingiest person in this world in order to be the person that is koneh, that acquires the midah of emet. Because God said, I know it looks like you're the stingiest, but this is who you can be. According to the midah of emes, Avram Avinu is chesed or not? If he would have started in the beginning looking at the first level of emet we spoke about.
He would never get there.
Never. He'd never get there. Because he'd never think that there's an inyan for him to get there. Let's continue.
Or even if he was making progress, he'd always say, but look what I did in the past. Look, that's who I really
That
am.
happens to us quite often. So, I mean, okay, it's good I had a nice Yom Kippur, but remember where I was last year, Motzi Yom Kippur? Derech Masha, I don't mean to depress anybody. We're just trying to,
It's emet, what you're saying.
Right, but I'd rather be Emet La'amito, Okay, Derech Mashal. Let's go a few more lines. Yehudi otzem einav mirot bera. אף שכבר אין לו מכך סיפוק ושמחה, בהיות רוחו נפולה כבר פגועה ומרה. רגע כזה הוא גילוי כבוד שמיים באופן נעלה. והשם יתברך שש ושמח על כך. He says like this, a Jew shuts his eyes from seeing bad, even though he doesn't even have sipuk and simcha from it, because his ruach is already so naful, meaning like he's so fallen, bitter, and hurt. But a moment like this, of you choosing to refrain from looking at something bad, even though you barely have any koach in you to make you think that what you're doing is gishmak, because you already have categorized yourself as the lowest sinner. Rav Kluger says this moment is such a gilui kvod shamayim. You reveal to the world what it means to honor heaven in this moment. V'Hashem yitbarach sas v'sameach al kach. This brings tremendous simcha to Hashem. Kivyachol menatzeach et ta'anat malachav. And what do you do at that moment? You're winning. Who are you winning over? The taina of the angels. Behar'oto lahem shehine hakulo shkarim shelidivreihem mutav haya ki bal yivareh hine hu behatzmicho emet me'eretz orot me'ofel kedusha mitoch hanefol vehame'ayesh vehachashuch. What did he basically say over here? Did you be able to follow this? It's a little bit poetic, but what he's basically saying over here is that the angels say that since a person will come to the midah of emet in their lives, they themselves will say about themselves, it's better if I wasn't created. And that'll be a statement of emet. In the name of emet. Right. They're not saying this as a cop-out. They come to a conclusion saying, you know what, in the name of truth, I really am a waste of a creation. It would have been better that not.
And that's why it's worth it that I was created?
No, it wasn't. It shouldn't have been created.
And I shouldn't have been. That's angel status.
Getting to that emet.
Getting to that emet. And it's better if I wasn't even created.
Or have kids. Why have kids? Mainly this world is such a world of sheker and chaos and evil. We're just not going to forget about it.
That's today's first level of emet.
Yeah, that's the emet.
That's today's. There's a whole movement. There's a huge movement about it. And that's now. If you come to a person that has this time, you say to them, you know, it's not true. The world is beautiful. Really? A Jewish girl was taken, a 7-year-old girl was taken. I don't even want to say it in the shul because it's just none of us slept last night. So what are you going to tell them in the name of emet? Are they emet based on yesterday's news? Yeah. No. Wasn't it better for that girl's world or that person to not have been created because they went through such a thing? In the name of emet. How can you say what they're saying is not emet? But somehow, in this most miraculous way, emet la'amita says, I can't explain it to you. However, yesh mashu yoter gadol po. I don't understand it.
No, and it's also dafka mitoch hachoshech, orot me'ofel. It's going to come out from the darkness.
Kedusha mitoch haneful, holiness from the person who's despaired already. כאשר יהודי נעשה בהיר בכך שמציאות חייו כפי שהוא כולה שקרים, when a Jew becomes clear regarding the reality of his life being in a state of completely lies, מקיימת קורת רוח עילאית להשם יתברך במעט שמביא כפי יכולתו. יש בו את הכוח להיות בשמחה למרות הכל ובגלל הכל. What deep words. למרות הכל, despite everything, and because of everything, I can still be in a place of simcha despite my recognition of my reality being kulo shkarim. Were you ever able to do this? Despite your reality and because of your reality, that you're saying I can still have some nagia to the place of simcha despite and because everything bad that I've recognized in my life.
Weinberger spoke about it in Malach Malka. I remember what he said about you ever have that moment where you're like, how did I get here? How did I end up? How is this my reality right now?
He was referring to a very smelly simcha hall, no air conditioning.
Yeah, look around us, but look at all this kedusha that we're, sometimes you have those moments where you're like, I know where I've been.
It's like all of us know where we've been, right? If we really held on to the first midah of emes, I guarantee you that none of us would show up here in the name of emes. We wouldn't. We wouldn't. So what brings us back here all the time? Emet, because emet la'amita is really what's driving our lives. It really is, whether we notice it or not.
Well, that's pretty high level. That's good. You're probably right. Because if it was eminent, we always can make a case that our
always
states and this or business and stuff, all the different rationales.
Always.
It must be something from like a really pure holy source that's pulling us. That's good to know.
It has to
that's
be,
good
right?
To acknowledge,
right.
Like
it seems like it has to be. What other thing could it be drawing us back here all the time? What else could it be? It's not the first level of emet. It's not only guilt. We're a little bit more advanced in our lives. It's not only guilt that brings us back here to keep on working on ourselves, learning and growing. You can't, right? You can't. Tell me, if you think I'm wrong.
I don't think it's guilt at all. It's like we talk about all the time. Like, how are we going to convince people to make aliyah? It's not going to be by guilting them into it. What is that?
Right.
There's no
Yeah, maybe some of the nice things we do started off as guilt. Maybe it could be. It started off, but after a while it can't. That guilt, that level of emet can't last. It's got to be something deeper. So yes, it's beautiful to buy that. You know, just buy it. Like it must be something bigger is drawing you to the table. Emet la'amita. Because none of us are walking out of here ever thinking we're tzaddikim. As far as I know. I mean, I don't think any of the lies that we have in our lives disappear while we're here. But it's simply, it has a different effect on the way we conduct ourselves. That's what I think happens. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, let's finish this. Kama horu tzadikim le'ba'ei sha'irem liot besimcha. The tzadikim always told people that came to them, be besimcha. כמעט אין לך חסיד שלא שמע צמד מילים אל מפי רבותיו בגוללו לפניהם את מצוקתו הרוחנית. It's never been that a person comes and pours out his kishkas, right? And he says how deep and tzaras I am spiritually, that he didn't hear the words be besimcha. ועדיין נותר הלב אטום מלקלוט את דברי הקודש. And the world and the heart is still atum, is still sealed and shut from receiving these holy words. Right? I came to you, Rabbi, and I said, I've been cheating on my taxes for no, they don't. Usually people that they don't have taxes, but say I've whatever it is, whatever the inyanim are. Chalila, I've been cheating on my spouse. God forbid, whatever the inyanim are, doesn't matter what it is. But whatever can put you in that dark spiritual hole. And the Rebbe says, okay, be besimcha. So the Emet says, what do you mean? He's not allowed to be besimcha. He did so many averas. Simcha is only a reward if you did something good. But like we learned at the beginning of this Maimar, that's garbage. That's not true. Being besimcha is not, if you did something good, you have the privilege. It's an avoda. It's an avoda. It's a work. It's not reward. It's avoda. It's the way to do things. But when he understands the depth of the kavana behind it, שהשמחה היא הכרה בהירה בתפקיד המיוחד אשר נכון לו, יוכל כל יהודי לקבל ולהיות בשמחה. When I truly internalize and I understand on a deeper level that simcha is not what we just described, then when I'm in this deep dark place and I hear the Rebbe's words, be besimcha, Rabbi Shalom always used to say this. People when they came to him all the time. He said, be besimcha, and the way he said it made it clear that he's not talking about, listen, focus on the good points and be besimcha. He's saying, no, be besimcha, it's an avoda, to realize that if I could be besimcha right now, I am justifying God's, not that God needs me to, but I'm kivyachol winning over the angels again. Because the angel's standing there, while you're saying there's no reason for me to be simcha, because look how low I am, and they're looking up at God and saying, you see, we were right. You shouldn't have created this world the way you did. It should have been done through just the midah of emet or not the human beings. But when I can come with my garbage, my self-loathing, and be like, I acknowledge this is true. and despite it, I'm going to be b'simcha, at that moment I realize that I'm answering back with Hashem to the angels, sorry, your way is not going to work. I'm going back to God's decision of how He created the world.
It doesn't come from a vacuum. You know, the Jews' response of like feeling like I'm too far away from Simcha, or I'm too far away from feeling close to God, or I'm not worthy. I mean, like, we're definitely in the Parshiyot where it's happening all the time, where the Jews are complaining, then, you know, a couple thousand die, or Chalila, what happens in this week's Parsha, where there's no tshuva
Right.
for Chet Maraglim.
Right.
And the entire generation is just lost in the desert. So like it's not coming out of a vacuum that a Jew is going to approach his relationship with Hashem with this feeling like I'm never going to be good enough, or my sins will never leave me. I mean, think about those that complain.
Say what you're saying again, differently with different words, because I don't understand what you're saying.
What I'm trying to say is that I'm listening to this, and it's beautiful, and I know it's true. Okay, I know it's true without any doubt. With that said, the context of a Jew being stuck in this place where he's feeling like I can't become close because my sins are holding me back, or I can't reach emet because emet's there as opposed from emet
can't be b'simcha.
tismach.
Or I can't be b'simcha right now.
Or I can't be b'simcha right now because my sins are holding me back. Well, you can't have closeness with Hashem unless there's simcha.
Right.
So yeah, right.
Okay.
I think so. So I'm saying it's rooted in the text. It's rooted in the Torah, like this idea of your sin causing your downfall. You know, your sin causing death.
If we go to text, we actually see the opposite, though.
Where?
Tachat asher lo avata et Hashem Elokecha b'simcha v'tuv levav. The reason you got to where you got to is because you thought that simcha is only this place I will get to as a reward. So actually, if we want to go root text, then it kind of works the other way, Tambin.
Yeah. No, I do.
On the Pnimi, it works the other way.
I'm just thinking of like I heard Jeremy say this one time. It really struck a chord. Like the idea of walking for 3 days in the desert and being thirsty for water, and like that being like, you know, something which is looked upon as a sin. Like, have you ever walked 3 days in the desert? You know, like without water, it's something you're going to complain about, and yet still we're looked at as like complainers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something. It's a heavy case. It's a heavy case to feel. Like a Jew is perpetually feeling like he's not good enough because of these midot, I feel like.
But those are always opportunities. Hashem's not making you feel bad. Those are always opportunities for you to realize, no, I am thirsty.
Right.
I'm actually very thirsty. And I'm going to, while I'm complaining about it, I'm also going to be besimcha about it.
Right.
I'm not, again, this is not saying, none of these words over here are telling you that what you're kvetching about means you're not emet. It actually means you are emet. That's the whole point. But there's a bigger picture of emet at any given moment of your personal crisis. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's finish this paragraph, okay? Lelo koach hatzadikim hadavar eino bar efsharut. Without the koach of tzadikim in our lives, it's kind of impossible to attach ourselves to this midah of emet la'amita. Ki zeh seder habriya she'yised Hashem yitbarach. This is how God created the world. שיוכל מקבל להעלות פרי רק בקבלו ממשפיע ומאיר. How can you grow a fruit? Only through what? Through receiving light and water. You can't grow a fruit without these hashpahs, right? This is how Hashem created the world. He's saying over here, like, you're forgetting that because you think you either have it or you don't. You're either good or you're not good. If you were good, you would know how to do the right thing in this world. And he's saying, really? Is that the way God created vegetation and created anything in this world? God planted a seed, but that seed needs light, it needs water in order for that to bear, produce. He's saying, what's the difference between that and the way we are? God gave us light and water through the Torah, through tzaddikim, through being close to them. כאדמה לאחר קליטת הגשם. כיוון שזוכים נשמות ישראל להתקשרות ביסודי עולם ולקבל מהם אור זרוע, אין לנו כי אם להטות אוזני לב לבשורה הגדולה המתרפקת וקוראת בעיצומה של הגלות Yisrael atem b'nei kel chai. He's saying, can we really afford to not listen to the tzaddikim who are telling us, who are giving us light and telling us over and over again, you are emet la'amita. Just listen to what I'm saying. You are emet la'amita. Tzachlit haneshama beha'arata b'shutafa harach la'ne'eman. Hashkinu shalom ben nishmatchem legufchem. Make peace between your souls and your bodies. Lo kebal chesed, המוכן לעשות טובה גדולה ולגמול משלו. למרבה עלבון המקבל. Don't look at your body and be like, oh, nebuch, I gotta feed it some good stuff, right? No. Realize that this is the way Hashem created the world. The light and the water is your neshama. Your body is the ground, the mud, where you put things in order for it to sprout forth. It's the way Hashem created the world. He's saying, don't look at your bodies as mud and as dirt. It's the area where things brew.
In this example, he's saying that within each one of us, we're a mashpia and a makabel.
Yes, yeah. That's a cloud throughout Rav Kluger's farm. He always speaks about this.
I saw a beautiful piece where the conductor for exactly that, for giving and receiving, is Ava. Without Ava, you can't activate it. It's beautiful.
What's the thing in every piece?
He speaks about this throughout all his farm. How mashpia and mekabel, we've divided that in the world between man is mashpia, woman is mekabel, or Hashem is mashpia and we are mekabel. But he has a theme throughout all his farm saying those two elements are happening simultaneously within you, between a neshama and a guf. Don't look at the mekabel as a nebuch that needs tzedakah. Look at the mekabel as the kli for your mashpia to grow.
We have to be mashpia on ourselves, and be ready to be mekabel. That's the avodah. That's what he's saying. You understand?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it's very innovative too. Innovative thinking, because it's not brought down like that in most places.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah. Ela, how should you look at this? Ela kechatan hayotze likrat kala. כך תסכים נשמה בשמחה להחליף מהותה המופשטת במציאות חייה הרוחניים עם הגוף המעשי כפי ערכו ודמותו. Only like this will the neshama, will the beauty in you, will that light in you agree to discover the emet la'amita differently than just regular emet. He's saying something very deep over here. We're trying to cause shalom bayis to take place inside in order to have Simchat Chayim. Now, again, he's been saying this in so many different ways, but he's ending off here by saying, I think, unless I'm open to the fact that I've totally misled all of you and you're all going to end up in a very bad place because of my... But to who?
You.
No, say it to yourself. So it seems like he's saying over here, we want the neshama to be maskim besimcha, to say to Hashem, thank you for my bag. Thank you for my bag. Which we usually never say that. We say, why'd you give me this bag? But the goal is to be able to say, thank you for my deck. Thank you for this deck of cards. This is exactly what I need in order to do what I need to do in this world. זה חלקנו בבניין המקדש, הביטוי העולמי הגדול לשלום הבית הכללי בין נשמה למשכנה. He's saying that it's so beautiful. He's saying the Beis HaMikdash, like you want to say you want to bring it in now already, the aura of the Geula. It's beautiful. All the Zionist sismaot, and it's all great. It's all part of the bag. You have to leave Galut, leave America, leave Australia, leave Canada. It's all true. Beseder. That's emet. But emet la'amita is much deeper than that. Emet la'amita is saying, now that I am here, right? I have the privilege of really bringing in early Shabbos, like we've learned on Sunday. And that, based on the way he explained it right now, means I have the ability to just accept my bag and realize, despite the hardships of the world that I was born into and the stuff I did as a kid, because I didn't know any better, no one gave me any other chance in life to know better, despite it, and because of it, I'm going to start going in the tzmicha level. He's saying when you come to that realization and that Kabbalah of being okay with your bag, the emet starts to really litzmoch, and it sprouts throughout the whole world. So this is just again giving us a lot of kochot to just mekabel our bags, and Bezrat Hashem we will finish this next week. Okay, Yisher Tov.